So Game Informer just dropped a new developer diary for Resident Evil 4 today, speaking with the game's art director, Hirofumi Nakaoka. I hope I pronounced that properly. The video focuses on two of the game's enemies, the iconic chainsaw villager and the new hammer-wielding cowl-masked villager, who Hirofumi does compare to a minotaur, so I will affectionately refer to him as the Minotaur villager. We're also given some new gameplay footage that focuses on Leon and Luis's desperate attempt to defend the house from the crazed villagers. So we'll start off with that first. Visually, the game looks great. Fog animations across the floor, multiple torches lighting your view, all look fantastic. We see Leon board up a window a la Resident Evil 2, as well as him using a rifle to shoot through a door at enemies, even popping off a ganado's head. And next, we have possibly my favorite part of the footage. Leon parries an enemy attack with his knife with the finesse of a professional, following up with a roundhouse kick to the enemy. I love a good parry system in a video game. Ghost of Tsushima, God of War, all had fantastic parry systems. I wouldn't mind if they slowed things down just a little bit as Leon hit the parry, but other than that, it looks like it's going to be super satisfying, and nailing the timing of that window is going to be something that's going to be fun to learn. The AI for Luis seems relatively competent as well, as we see him holding off enemies as Leon switches to his grenades to fend off some ganados. We also see Luis get grabbed by an enemy, requiring Leon to shoot that enemy to set him free. We then get the entrance of the new Minotaur enemy and a brief backstory on how they created the Chainsaw Man and the Minotaur villager. Hirofumi mentions that they toyed around with the idea of making the Chainsaw villager taller, more muscular, and even giving him a long coat, but nothing felt quite right. So they re-examined the original version of the character and found what made him scary was the fact that he looked like a regular person. A human with an intellect who chooses to wear a cowl is much more frightening than a big muscular killer. No offense, Jason Voorhees. They even added little details like his eyes peeking out of the burlap sack he's wearing, which is uber creepy. As for the Minotaur villager, he was created relatively late in development. The game was nearly complete, but they felt that a bigger and stronger enemy was needed for certain sections of the game, which they then got the idea to create a hammer-wielding enemy who would become the Minotaur. What's really nice here is that he was created for a purpose rather than just to be a shiny new enemy. They thought about his movements and even the cow's head he wears. Did someone place it on him, or did he choose to wear it himself? They even point out the cow's eyes don't look directly at you as you fight him, since it's the remains of poor old Bessie. Hirofumi compares him to a fantasy game's Minotaur, but grounded for the world of Resident Evil. That's the core of what makes the enemies in this game so frightening, is that they're all mostly human. And to close things out, we got more information on Ashley as well. She's much more capable this go around, being able to kick ladders open and even climb them herself. The devs placed an emphasis on having Ashley always on the move because realistically, that's what someone would do in that situation. And the gameplay loop of having Ashley hide while you fought enemies was fun for a while, but it did kind of get old further into the game. We also see the chats with Hunnigan will now happen in real time without breaking the flow of gameplay. Shout out to Susie the Sphere Hunter for calling that one eons ago. She's starting to become a prophet. And with that being said, that is pretty much the video. That was a really interesting developer diary. I really appreciate that the devs took the time to create backstories, not just for their main characters, but for their enemies. It's nice to know that they didn't just create something just to have something new, but there's a meaning behind this Minotaur villager, and he looks frightening. As for the gameplay itself, I cannot wait to get my hands on it. It looks like it's going to play like a much faster, much more refined version of Resident Evil 2. I cannot wait to try out that parry system with the knife and follow up with a really flashy melee kick. I am hoping we can still suplex enemies. You gotta have that in the game, and you gotta have their head explode when they hit the ground. That is a requirement, Capcom. But with that being said, I really would love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments down below. What did you think of this footage, and what do you think of the new Minotaur villager, as well as bringing back that old school Chainsaw Man? Let me know in the comments down below. I am Curious Corduroy. I will see you guys in the next video. Please remember to always be excellent to one another.